Hi, my name is Matt Barr with Clearwave Interactive, and this is Pixel3D. I'm going to be going over with you what Pixel3D is and how we can implement it in your workflow. So here we have a few sprites that are included in the example package for Pixel3D, and you'll see that what they're doing is they're taking these 2D pixel art sprites and they're turning them into these cube, voxel shapes. And when we look at the objects, you see that there's just a regular Unity renderer, sprite renderer with a sprite attached, and then this sprite 3D component, which has a few really simple parameters. And if I play here and I mess with these parameters, we'll see what they are. So pixel thickness is the thickness of the object as a whole. So it's the base layer, you could say, thickness. And then layer offset is each of these additional color layers. So if thickness is 0, then the whole thing is just as thick as pixel thickness defines. And we can go from there to create some kind of cool thick 3D shapes. Pixel scale is the scale of the pixels in the grid. And then color blend threshold determines what colors should be stored on the same layer as one another. So if we look at this dragon right here, you'll see that there's some various colors that are somewhat similar, orange, pink, and so on. And when we click play, all of those are stored on roughly the same layer because my color blend threshold is set to 30%. If I set it to 0, then they're all stored on separate layers, and it's really hard to see in play view because there's just so many different colors in that sprite. If I have it set to 1, then they're all stored on the same layer, and there's not as much variation. Well, there's no variation. But if I set it to 0.3 for this dragon, that seems to be something that's roughly what I like. We get an interesting effect without having the massive blowout that we have when it's set to 0. As you can see, Pixel3D supports animation. Right now it only supports frame-by-frame animation, and each frame must have the same pixel width and height. So, for instance, I believe this Necromancer, each frame is 64 by 64, and that's fine. But if it changes, that will mess up the algorithm, and you'll get an error saying that Pixel3D doesn't support the sprite size changes. So real quick, let's go over how you would set these sprites up to work with Pixel3D. So if I go in here to my sprites, here's an example. This Necromancer, and let me blow this up for you so you can see. This Necromancer is it didn't get any bigger because the sprites are so small. So this animation has 12 different frames. One is walking towards the camera, one's walking away from the camera, one's walking to the side, and so on. And I set these up using the regular Unity sprite 2D and UI texture type for the import settings. You can go ahead and set them up however you want in this tab, just to make things simple. Set up your sprite editor, and then go to the Advanced tab when you're done. Make sure that non-power of 2 is set to none. Make sure that read-write is enabled. That alpha is a transparency is set to true. Make sure that that the sprite mode is either single or multiple. In this case, it's multiple because I have a sprite sheet. Make sure that mesh type is set to full rect, and make sure that generate mip maps is set to false. This is very important because, as I mentioned before, Sprite 3D does not support changes in texture size. So if you change, if Unity all of a sudden swaps out for another mip map, you're going to get an error that says this is not supported. I believe that's about all there is to show you here. If you have any questions at all, comments, or ideas for how to make this better, please let me know, and I would be happy to assist you. Thank you very much, and looking forward to working with you.